This is the definitive how-to video for you to make your own, easy-to-use, highly accurate, straight edge that instantly will raise your cutting skills to master carpenter level. You can show your appreciation by subscribing to my YouTube channel, America's Blind Tradesman. Remember, it's so easy, even a blind guy can do it. Why not you? Okay, the first thing is, as I had mentioned, on every sheet of plywood, when it's brand new, this is 3/8 AC plywood, this edge from the factory, 99.99999% of the time is perfectly straight if the sheet is new and hasn't been hanging around. And then the other thing is, I've set this circular saw with a typical rip guide that comes with just about every circular saw. It's 6 inches inside. So I'm going to cut this off 6 inches wide, and that'll be the first step to making the straight edge. All right, that's done. Next step, we're going to cut us another piece. Okay, we're continuing on with making the wooden straight edge. The economy, high efficiency, high accuracy wooden straight edge. Okay, down below is the wide piece, and what I've what I've done here is, here's this thin piece, the 6-inch piece that I told you about that we cut. I've spread glue on there using ordinary construction glue and putty knife to spread it out. If you can draw a line and see it, great for you. But what I did was, I clamped this board here because this is where my other board has to connect to, same place. And I'm just going to put that in there like that, line it up to the end. All right. And I'm going to take the clamp off of here and put it on there. Like I say, this is just a straight edge for me to glue. You just learned one of my blind tricks. I have to keep these things a secret, you know. I'm in the blind union, you know. Anyway, just a joke. Okay, this one's done. I can take this piece out of the way. And now at this point we have two options. We can either use 3/4 inch screws, because 3/8 and 3/8 adds up to 3/4, or I can just shoot it all down with brad. Hang on, this isn't lined up right. I don't like the way that lined up. That's okay. I have a block of wood to tap it with. How about that? It's already taken. Okay. Well, so much for perfectionism. Okay. It's off a little bit. Darn. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I can separate this. There we go. I got it separated. Okay, now I can go back a little. Okay, there. Now I'm perfectly even. This is real time. I'm trying to rush to show you this too. It's a hot day down here, and I got to do this before the glue sets up. Okay, let me take my brad gun, set up with 3/4 inch brads right here, and we buy brads wholesale, so use plenty. Woo, perfect. Okay, the points are sticking way out on the other side, so I may not use too many. I just may not use too many, just enough to hold the board. And what I'll do is, I either have to lower the gun pressure, or yes, I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way. Okay, having done that, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll switch off, and I will roll it. Because I've got glue spread all the way, I'll just roll this on and let it set up while we move on with the rest of the work we're doing. Pretty good. That'll glue on there real nice. That'll glue on there real nice. Probably should have had some shorter brads. Gun pressure's down to 80 pounds. I didn't realize the 80 pounds would shoot the brad out. They're sticking out almost 3/16 of an inch on the other side. So off the video, I'll experiment with lowering it down. Now, when this is done like this, and this finishes gluing, what we'll end up doing is we will end up also sanding this. And what we'll do is we'll take a block of sandpaper like this, and this edge here where the saw is going to ride, we will sand it and then break this sharp edge on it like that with sandpaper and a block, just so that there. See, now I won't get a sliver, and it's just a little tiny break off the sharp edge and splinters. This edge here will be trimmed to the width of the saw once this all cures and sets up by doing nothing more than taking the saw and making a very slow, careful cut all the way up this. That'll cut off anything that's beyond the blade, and this straight edge will be ready for that saw, and it will be totally accurate to within a matter of thousandths of an inch. And again, it's a low-cost way. Now, this is important because this forms the foundation for an entire system of straight edges, including crosscut guides that I make for each individual saw that I want to use on the job. And I did this long before I could afford the chop saws and the table saws and all that. I was using this method to do quite a bit of building. You could cut this in half, but you could have a short one to go the 4-foot way across the table. You could make this out of thinner down here, use a piece of Luan or 1/8" masonite. Still, I would use the 3/8 up here, and you can make it so that you have a straight edge for a router bit, so that you just, once it's made, you run your router down it, trim it off, and then right there is where your router's going to go. So when you're mortising sheet stock and stuff to do assembly for building your own cabinets and things, you could use this method. I mean, it just opens up a whole world of accuracy through simplicity. And that's what we're going to show there. In a second here, we're going to show the finished one of these, me actually using it to do some very precise cutting. Okay, I just wanted to show another trick here real quick. The gun pressure was a little high, and the brads came through. But this would happen even with 3/4 inch screws also. You probably get just the point through. You don't want it because it'll scratch your work. So all I did was, in this particular case, because these are brads, I can just cut them off with a regular snipping tool. But here's something that you would do even if you did screws. I just grab a flat file like this that's medium to fine and just lay it on the edge and do that. And that's it. They're gone. There's nothing sharp, nothing sticking up, nothing will scratch your work. For this, if I had to clamp this, it would be easier to do. Just do this and go all the way down, and I would be able to clean them all off. So if you got your screw points coming through, whatever, you can clean your work up like that pretty quickly. I just wanted to share that real simple trick with you, because it does make a quality then straight edge that you'll have for years and years and years, and you won't have problems with it. And you'll be able to put it down on finished paneling or on other things that you'd be worried about scratching. This way here you won't leave scratch marks. I imagine if you had a belt sander, you could probably run the belt sander down after you cut the points off and take it all down to flush wood too. That's all I wanted to share on that. I'm inserting this little piece of video in because I wasn't sure I made it clear on the dimensions for the straight edge. It's 2 pieces of wood. One was ripped 6 inches wide and the other was ripped 12 inches wide. They're the full 8-foot length of the sheet. The 6 inches glued and bradded to the 12-inch piece. This area right here is where your saw actually rides, right on this. The side of the saw rides here on the saw table for the circular saw, and the blade cuts right along that edge right there. This has already been compensated for my saw, because once I had this made, I just simply put the saw against here, wrote it right up, and trimmed it off. My blade forever rides there. The side of the saw is here. It's already calculated, and it already will fit for your saw. And as long as you put this edge where you want to cut on your line or whatever, you're perfect every time. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you'd like to see some of the other projects we'll be doing in the future, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, America's Blind Tradesman. And as always, this is Mike DeZinno, America's Blind Tradesman, saying stay safe, stay productive, and keep loving those tools. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.